All right, 736-0186. It's First News with Keeler in the morning. Bill is off today. He is under the weather. I didn't catch too much of Donald Trump over the weekend. Did anything outrageous happen with Trump? I was busy doing some things in the attic, and I did not get a chance to see that Trump was snatching headlines. However, I did see, and this has been going on for a few days, this dates back to part of last week as well, where Donald Trump and Ted Cruz seem to be trying to elbow John Kasich out of the picture, basically saying
he's not going to win.
He's not going to win. I like my chances against you. You like your chances against me. Mm-hmm. Why don't we just make it me and you so that someone doesn't come out of the mix here that really doesn't have that much support? This is from NBC News. Donald Trump and Ted Cruz campaigns working to prevent John Kasich from appearing on the ballot at the Republican National Convention in July. MSNBC has learned an aggressive strategy suggesting the GOP's leading candidates are looking for a contested convention to select the party's nominee. On Sunday, Trump told supporters that Kasich shouldn't be allowed to continue on the RNC, and the RNC shouldn't allow him to continue. If no one clinches the nomination during the primaries, delegates choose from candidates on the convention ballot. While Trump and Cruz are locked in a bitter battle, aides for both men tell MSNBC it is in their mutual interest to keep Kasich off the ballot. The convention rules control who is on that ballot, thus eligible to win the nomination. I expect the Rules Committee to require a level of support that would leave only two candidates on the ballot at the convention. That's according to a senior Cruz campaign official. That committee, which writes the rules governing an open convention, is made up of 112 Republican delegates from around the country. Operatives for Cruz and Trump say they will have major sway over what that committee does. I did not see that Trump said anything outrageous over the weekend. If I'm wrong, 736-0186, which would be a rarity for Donald. He went a whole weekend without making a headline.
Well, he did make a couple of headlines. The first one is that Cruz is up in Wisconsin right now, 43-37. And interestingly, Bernie Sanders is slightly ahead of Hillary Clinton in the latest poll in Wisconsin from CBS News. So Wisconsin, of course, having its primary tomorrow. The April 19th primary in New York is being really focused on by the Clinton campaign. Bill Clinton is in Western New York part of this week. So, and then, of course, we just said on CBS's Face the Nation, Trump talked about the fact that the media is reporting the missteps in his campaign and waiting for the missteps to happen, really. But he doesn't see the last week as being the worst in his campaign's history thus far. So we'll see what happens in Wisconsin. I don't know that John Kasich has indicated any signs that he's stepping out. Quite the contrary, at least publicly. He said he's in it, and if he has to be in it to remain a spoiler, he will. I wonder
a spoiler for which side, though, is he saying?
I think that he is enjoying the limelight, right?
I guess that could be it. Maybe maybe he wants to be someone's VP. Maybe that's what it is. There was a rally over the weekend, by the way, in fact, in Rome, for Donald Trump. And Jim Zecca was involved in this. Tim Trent was as well. Held in the city of Rome near the Fort Stanwix site or just outside of it. Here's a quote. Donald Trump is a man of honor. He speaks the truth, and we're sick and tired of politics as usual. Certainly, Mr. Trump is not politics as usual. That is a quote there from Jim Zecca that he made to Time Warner Cable News. Also, Ben Carson, this is a story that was published yesterday at Gawker. In a recent radio interview, Ben Carson doesn't say he necessarily thinks Donald Trump should be president, just that the business mogul and reality TV star could be an option. Asked why he endorsed Trump, Carson said, "Nobody believes in the government anymore. Everybody believes that we are weak. We are weak on the world stage. We're not doing things that make sense economically. And he's probably the person who is most likely to do that. Are there better people? Probably." That's an awkward way to endorse a candidate. I like him. He's different. Is there someone better to lead the country? Probably, yes. That seems to be what Ben Carson thinks.
It remains to be seen what Ben Carson's future is in any machination of what, the presidential field looks like. Because, is he still in this for all intents and purposes, or do people not even care anymore what Ben Carson says? I think that there is still a faction of people who care what Ben Carson says. Obviously, he and Trump are friends. Trump never really attacked. I mean, there were a couple of times when he issued digs Ben Carson's way, lobbed digs Ben Carson's way, but he really never attacked Ben Carson. I think a couple of times he called him the nice doctor. Mm-hmm. So, he certainly hasn't attacked him. So what does that mean, if anything? If there is a Trump candidacy, if he is the candidate for the GOP, is Ben Carson his guy? I think we can rule out John Kasich as his guy.
And I think you can rule out Ben Carson as well. I don't see Trump tapping Ben Carson to be his vice president nominee, especially with a comment like that. That would come back to hurt him. Also, Trump never, as you said, never put his claws into Carson because Carson was never on his heels. I don't ever think he saw him as a threat. And I think that's why he played nice with him. You saw that from Trump throughout the campaign where, obviously, it's still going on. As somebody approached him in the polling numbers, he would lash out at that candidate and really attack them. But otherwise, he seemed to be willing to, he would be complimentary, friendly for the candidates who were at the bottom of the polling list. At least that's the way it was going back a few months ago. It's 6:44 WIBX. Christine Bellino has an update. Good morning, Christine.
Good morning. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump dodging a question about whether or not he was ever involved with a woman who had an abortion. Dozens of firefighters are at New Jersey's Newark Airport following an early morning fire, and state police in our area investigating a fatal accident that occurred over the weekend.
All right, your forecast. There is a winter weather advisory in effect until 2 this afternoon. Snow possible through the afternoon. A high today only in the mid-30s. An overnight low tonight of 13. This is like a forecast from January. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 33. Wednesday, mostly cloudy, some afternoon showers possible. We'll see highs in the low 40s. Thursday, rain, a high in the mid-40s. Friday, some morning snow showers possible yet again with a high of 35. If you look at the extended forecast, it's not looking like we're going to see the 50s again until early on next week. So we're stuck with this weather pattern for about a week. WIBX News Time coming up on 6:46. Andrew with the latest list of school closings and delays. Brought to you by Warner Sales and Service, online at warnerss.com. Andrew.
We got Edmiston Central Schools closed. The remaining schools that I'll mention are closed: Holland Patton, Hamilton, Morrisville, Eaton, Owen D. Young, Remsen, Sherburne, Earlville. That board meeting that was scheduled is still on. Stockbridge Valley closed as well. Adirondack Central Schools and the following on a 2-hour delay. No AM pre-K or AM BOCES at Adirondack, New York Mills, Oriskany, Richfield Springs, and Westmoreland, all on a 2-hour delay. Also Whitesboro. 1-hour delays for New Hartford and Secoit. And we will keep you updated as the list grows or shortens.
All right. It's 6:46 at WIBX.